Well, you know what I say? Better late than not at all. Of course, it's ThursdAGE, and on ThursdAGE we talk all about things powered by the adventure game engine. And I'm Disembodied Troy, your only friend. And today we got a really jam-packed episode. Now we're starting a little late, just traffic. You know how that is. Traffic is it's a bear, and so even our friend on says you're late. Hey Duke, good to see you. Howdy Jay Gray. Yes, Duke, I am your only friend to the end. Yeah, so we've got a guest, and this gentleman's just going to hang with us. We're going to get to know him. Going to talk a little bit about the upcoming actual play for Dragon Age. We're going to be by the World Tree Quests group, and this gentleman right here. One moment, let me remove the modesty shield. Hello, my friend.
Hello, how are we?
Now, Bran, just mostly because I want to hear your accent, tell us all about you. Who are you? What are you doing here? How in the heck did you get in?
Well, somebody left the door open, and an open door's an invitation. So, hello, I'm Bran. I'm 31 years young. I'm at the age where you have to think about your age. I'm a TTRPG content creator, and a general all-round nerd. And I'm here because, I just think that Green Ronin Publishing is really neat with some of the games they do, and I'd like to play them. So, in my nearly 2 decades of playing TTRPGs, I finally decided, you know what? I'm gonna play them because I like playing them. So yeah, that's pretty much how I ended up here.
Yeah, you reached out and you were enthusiastically talking about what you wanted to do, and I thought, we gotta invite this guy in. Am I lagging? I think I might be lagging a little bit. Jake Gray says, "Wow, samesies." Yes. So tell me a bit more about sort of the overarching organization. Like, what do you call that? And then let's talk about the actual play.
So, when it came to COVID, and I was like, oh, I can't play, TTRPGs anymore. And I was in the middle of playing Warhammer and D&D and all that kind of jazz. Yeah. And then suddenly all my tables disappeared because, we can't meet up. And I was one of the unfortunate few that had to immediately go into shielding. So for 2 years, I didn't leave the house.
Oh, wow.
And it was when this cool little app called TikTok started. And I seen a lot of people doing D&D and TTRPG and fantasy-based stuff on it. So I joined them with that. And then some people wanted to play a one-shot. And then from that one-shot, I built a whole world. And then from that world, suddenly I've ran 10 campaigns, 4 mini campaigns, and multiple dozens of one-shots. And then somebody said to me, you should put a name to this. And it started off as kind of something else. I toyed with a couple of names, but everything was very centric around, the big popular game of the time. And I was like, but that's only my 4th or 5th favorite game. I like a lot of other games more than that.
Yeah.
Namely, as is no secret, I'm a big Dragon Age fan. And Dragon Age TTRPG was my first kind of step into being a game master. And I was like, I want to eventually include that. And then that was the idea of the world tree, where each and every world is connected by this one big tree, and everything's a branch that goes somewhere. And next thing you know, we're running one-shots of, Oh God's Appalachia, Call of Cthulhu, everything from every single week. If we can find a book, we're playing it. And that's where it is. 5 years later, here we are. We stream. Once Dragon Age starts, we will be streaming 6 days a week.
Wow! And so, how many people are you streaming with? Do you have other GMs? Are you doing all the GMing, or?
I am the lead DM, the lead game master, the creative writer and creative director. So I run all the games. I have, I think at the moment, sitting between 25 and 30 cast members.
Wow, that is awesome.
And it's just I've made some of my best friends doing this.
I'll tell you, it's uniquely the TTRPG experience is uniquely suited to making lifelong friends.
2 of my friends who met at my table They're in one of my long-term campaigns. It's been going for 3 years. They didn't know each other until I started that campaign. I was at their wedding in October.
Oh, that is so. It was because of you, because of the games that they were playing with you.
Absolutely. That's how they met, and then it was a very unique experience to see two people who are players, and then they become friends, and then you watch them as friends become more. You watch them fall in love, and then next thing you know, you're in the middle of Milwaukee watching them get married. It was amazing. I have been incredibly blessed and incredibly fortunate because of TTRPGs.
That is phenomenal. Truly, that is phenomenal. And so, talk to me a bit about how do you, when as a DM, a GM, as the person running the games for folks, what are some of the philosophies that have gotten you this far? I mean, that's quite a group of people that you're coordinating games with, and you're doing it live for an audience. So you must have come across some tips and some ways of managing all this stuff without kind of pulling your hair out.
For the first year, I spent a lot of time pulling my hair out, and then 4 years later, it's very evident I don't pull my hair out anymore. The main tricks that I've learned, one I was told, two I picked up just kind of by myself. I was told by a longtime DM friend of mine that players are going to do what players want to do. Yes. Your job as the DM, let them do it. Let them do it. As long as everybody's comfortable moving forward with it, let them do it. Because the point of it is for them to be the ones that they build the story.
Yeah, you are speaking everybody's language. The chats, folks are just really they're resonating with this because it's the truth, right? I mean, you got to roll with
absolutely.
You can for fun.
You can sit there and you can write out this phenomenal story, and you can have all this intrigue, and you can have all these amazing links. But if you're making every decision before your party even comes to that decision, just write a book.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
The things that I've kind of
right.
Yeah, exactly. Don't railroad. Okay, don't railroad. Point them in a direction, and if they choose to go somewhere else, cool. Let them go that direction. The other things I've picked up is, one, the amount of people that I see put so much detail into things, and they build the full body of it. Build the bones, build the skeleton, and then let your party decide. Let your party see. I used to do the whole thing of making the full map and name every village. Yeah. And then people were just like, oh, I have to be from here. Whereas if I built the map shape and put capital city here, 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 and then said someday, where's your character from? Oh, I picture them being from like a coastal town. Cool. Human, elf, blah, blah, blah. Right. So there's the human country. There's the coast. So you're somewhere along here. Let's build a village.
Yes. Yeah.
And then they feel like they're part of it. They're not just somebody playing in the world. They're part of that world.
Yeah, absolutely. And the ownership, and also just the camaraderie that is built when they feel they're represented in the space. And it's just, there's nothing better to kind of break the ice, for sure. But to, they get to connect with you in a way that they're like, oh, hey, this guy's going to take care of me. He's going to listen to what I'm saying.
Absolutely. And again, it leaves them with a kind of, in future campaigns where, somebody else might go, oh, there's this coastal town by here. Can my character be from there? And they get to see that. And somebody going, yeah, I'm from here. They get to have that moment of, that was me. I contributed that. Yeah. And the amount of people I've had coming back to campaigns because they're like, I want this person made up this place and they've talked about it, and I want to be from there because I want to learn more about it. And it's just, it blows up. And it just spirals out, and it's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely, it is amazing. And Rainey has a question. We got a Dragon Age actual play coming, so let's talk about it. So, Dragon Age secrets.
Dragon Age secrets.
Hey, tell me all about it. Tell me some secrets.
Okay, so my issue that I've always had when it comes to Dragon Age, the TTRPG, is, how do you follow on from the stories that we have for us that's seen the games? Specifically the area that I'm focusing on is, the Fifth Blight, the hero of Ferelden. You can't really put in a party and put one of them as the hero of Ferelden, because then where that story is going to go. And then I was talking to a friend of mine, and fun enough, as all nerds eventually do, we were talking about Warhammer 40k lore.
Oh
And
wow!
obviously it turned into an argument. And then I had this idea of like, somebody said something was along the lines of like, yeah, but what if they were there and that guy didn't know they existed? And I just had in my mind, what if there was a group that the bad guy, minor level bad guy, didn't know existed?
Okay.
So then I had the idea of, we see at the beginning of Dragon Age Origins, you have the big battle of Ostagar, and you have the hero Ferelden fighting his way through it, and then you have them escaping from the Tower of Ishal. And I had the really funny thought of, what if there was more recruits and they just turned up late?
I love that.
So the idea I've got is, for those of you who played the Dragon Age Origins game, this group is going to be a group of warden recruits who are being brought in by not a warden commander, but a warden constable. They got held up going through the Korcari wilds. They arrive in Ostagar, and the battle's already done. The Darkspawn are there. So they're going to be starting not from the beginning of Origins, but starting kind of from the DLC Return to Ostagar. And then you've got, sneaking through Ostagar to get past the Darkspawn, find your way back into the Korcari wilds. And then, I've got lots of little things that are going to connect in there. They'll meet people in the Korcari wilds, and then that'll lead them on to Lothering, and then the world opens up from there. And they just become this kind of covert unit of wardens if they go that way, or if they decide to go somewhere else. I've just created the beginning. As I said, skeletal structure. And then whatever route if my party decide, no, now that we've got the chance, we don't want to be Grey Wardens, cool, we go away from that. We move on to something else. If they want to, yeah, we're going all the way down that Grey Warden route, then we run with that.
I think that's great. And what so one of the things I was going to ask is, given how established Dragon Age is, and how people who love Dragon Age, they're very particular about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so you found a really great way to, that makes perfect sense. And it's sort of an elegant way of getting the players into the storyline. And it's already sets up a kind of complication for them to kind of deal with.
Yeah.
What do you do now? You're late. So I think that's really, really clever. What are some other sort of, how do you intend to sort of blend both the new experiences that you're kind of building in partnership with your players and dovetailing it into this sort of lore that cannot be moved, the almost canon of it all?
So one of the things that I have noticed is when you speak about Dragon Age Origins, everybody gets very, what's your hero of Ferelden? What choices do you make?
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be saying to my players, what choices do you make? And I'll put them in, because then some people might take to one particular choice more than others.
Yeah.
So I've went with my general playthrough choices, my hero, the choices I make, and as it lines up. And that was kind of the hard decision of going, okay, so I need to put something concrete in so my players know where to go from. And I think the way that I've tied in quite well is that they're going to go to the same places. They're going to meet some of the same people, but there's also going to be enough things happening on the sidelines of it, and enough things that makes their mission have to move away from the Blight a little bit, while also focusing on the Blight, but focusing on the Blight from an almost curved aspect of the journey that the hero Ferelden takes in a very linear manner. They're kind of going on the roundabout way.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot more excursions into the deep roads. They're going to be, things that happen in Dragon Age Origins, the game, that is like, oh, that's quite good that lined up the way we wanted it to. I'm going to work it so it's actually this covert unit, making it so that those events come into play. So like the friends, for talking sake, the elf that you can find in the Brazilian forests, and you can find this unconscious elf, and you can bring him back to the Dalish. This covert unit may run across a group of elves being attacked by werewolves, get involved, get in a fight, and then not realize that one of the elves on the journey back has fallen unconscious. If they talk to this elf, they can then, they can gain a bit of information on the idea of, oh yeah, there was a Dalish and this weird blonde guy who made a lot of bad jokes, and a dog and a really grumpy goth witch, and they were going through here, and so there's going to be lots of little ties in. There's going to be enough things in there that people go, I remember that. But there's also going to be enough new things that it's not just a complete copy of Dragon Age Origins.
Perfect. I think that's a very nice striking of the balance. So the touchstones that people will remember, and then their role in it, and making it more significant than just sort of like they are a kind of a sort of forgettable moment in so what the players contribute isn't just some of this kind of this flimsy taped on rather adventure, but they're really woven into the world, which I think is phenomenal. Temple asks a question here: does Dragon Age actually does this Dragon Age actual play have any new additions to game mechanics or role playing?
In the sense of what, like, have I created any rules for it, or?
Yeah, our community has they're all very high on homebrew. They love kind of mix and match and all the stuff, and especially given how much age affords that kind of tinkering, they're always going to ask about that. So
yes, it does have some. I have created, some spells that people maybe are quite familiar with that aren't in the rulebook. I have play tested a couple of ways to kind of, how does this work if we put it in this mechanic?
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about the Dragon Age system, one of the things that I think raises it above the bar, above so many TTRPG systems, is the stunt system. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
Especially in the terms of, exploration and role play, because I feel like they often get overshadowed by combat. So I've added in extra stunts there. Just so when it comes to say exploration stunts that happen while looking for things or investigating situations. Sometimes you can feel like maybe your mages or your warriors kind of get left behind in that one. So things that make a bit more sense for them to, like, if a mage was to make was to get a couple of stunt points on a check that they make, and instead of it just being you happen to find an extra piece of information, there's another stunt there specifically along the lines of, like, you pick up the essence of residual magic, and then that leads us to why they're, even if they do have the exact same score as the ranger, there's a reason they pick up some additional information, and that's because there's a stunt there that's a bit more for them.
I love it. That is fantastic.
There's a lot of homebrew things that are going to go into it. I'm a massive homebrewer.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of really cool things in there. Monsters, new breeds of dragon.
Ooh, cool.
I'm currently working on it's quite difficult. It's the first time I've ever done it with this one, but with this particular TTRPG. But I am working on a particular specialization that I have wanted to see in the TTRPG for quite some time.
Nice.
So I'm working on that as well.
Okay. All right. Very nice. Now, when does all this kick off?
So I am hoping, should time allow, I am hoping for it to kick off in November, just before
perfect.
World Tree Quests goes on our winter break. So we're probably looking at maybe getting an intro session, and then maybe a second or third session before we go on our winter break, and then we'll be spiraling off from there every Saturday, 5 p.m. CST, from January onwards.
Nice. Okay, that's great. And a great window to do that in. Folks, you'll see the QR code in the bottom right. You can scan it with your phone, and like magic, you will be transported. And then I'll drop the link again in chat as well. I'm so excited, and so is Chad. People are very much looking forward to watching the stream and getting to know you. Your energy is just peak. It's fantastic. It's infectious, and I'm really, really excited about the whole thing. And how is? Can you tell us a little bit about the cast?
I can indeed. For one of the cast members, lovely person, goes by the name of Jess. Jess has been one of my players on my Wednesday night campaign. for about 3 years, and Jess just brings such an infectious amount of energy to a campaign. I've seen them play everything from a very calmly spoken but hulking Warforged who's very motherly, to a tiny elf with a mushroom sidekick who has a kitchen knife and likes to stab. I've had so many great adventures, and Jess is such an amazing player. I'm always excited when I see them coming to a table. The other players, one I've never actually played with. I've seen them play quite a few times. Now that I'm saying that, I've completely blanked on what their kind of go-to, like their stream name is, their social media presence. They go by Jack. I think it's Whackman or Wacky Jack or something like that. I'll find it out in a moment. But
Nate Robbins, you troublemaker. I keep forgetting to turn off our tipping for because we need tips, and I always forget, and I can't do it during the stream, and then after the stream I'm like, that was great, and I forget until I do the stream again. Anyway, Nate, geez, go ahead.
No, sorry, it was me just making like a random sound because I do that sometimes.
No worries, this is the place to do it. Okay, so you've got those two folks.
I've seen Wacky play quite a few times, and he seems like a great player. I've never had him at a table before, but he does bring a really, really good kind of like positive and stoic energy. Very, very good indicator, like, things spiral out. He's very good at bringing the chaos into a calm. And the other player that we have there is Jack, and Jack is the partner of one of my other players. I've had him in a one shot before, and he's got a certain kind of he's a very, very paladin-esque player. He likes to play these kind of stalwart characters who bring a sense of justice. So I don't know why, but I've got a feeling there might be a Templar cropping up in this actual play. But who knows? It could go all kinds of directions. But those are the three that I'm moving forward. I am waiting to hear back from a fourth.
Yeah.
But if I don't hear back from them, we are continuing on with these three players.
Okay, so now it sounded like you were talking about when you kick things off, you're going to do sort of a. Are you going to stream your session 0?
So I've actually posed that question to my party, and they've remained undecided as of yet.
Okay.
Some of them are new to the system, so they don't know how their comfort level is going to sit with that. Yeah. But the thing is, with Dragon Age being a dark fantasy, people see the games and they think, oh, this is quite wacky, but when you play the games and you get into the lore, it's dark. Yeah. It's really, really dark. Yeah. So I've already said to my players, there's probably going to be maybe 2 or 3 session zeros. One to kind of focus on, some of the kind of the darker aspects of the lore, like, the Tevinter Imperium, the Kunari, quite a lot of kind of dark and very, very evil aspects to the campaign, which unlike things like D&D, where there is such an amount of massive lore you can draw from, you can't really just erase parts of this, because then it takes away so much of the game. So we're probably going to have an entire session 0 talking about things like the Tevinter Imperium, why we have to be very careful when we nudge into that kind of territory, and then we'll have a session 0 talking about like the rules of the game. But I think when we come to kind of the character creation portion, I think we'll maybe stream that part. I think that's the part they'd be okay with streaming.
I think that's great, and we do talk a lot about safety tools and how important that session 0 is, and really sitting down and understanding what the thresholds are for your cast, and so very interesting and great to hear about this. And I do hope that as you move through your season, as you kind of explore this space with your crew assembled, would you come back and tell us more about what's going on and kind of give us some behind the scenes stuff and share the things that you learn?
Absolutely. I would love to come back. And one of the things about having ADHD and being a game master is, it's always good to have somebody to rant your good little ideas to, because you can't rant it to your players. So it's good to have somebody to voice it to.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, you have 100. You have such a great audience here of folks who are very enthusiastic about what you're doing, and I am as well. Really, also appreciate you being able to kind of dive in, even running into traffic and all that stuff. I want to share anything else that you want to share. Make sure folks take away from this when we're going to move into another segment here. But I just wanted to make sure that we got all the information from you that we could.
As soon as I have more information about the exact dates where we'll be starting, I'll
Yeah.
definitely be bringing it in, and I'll definitely be posting it everywhere. We are on every social media as World Tree Quest, Threads, Instagram, Blue Sky, the whole shebang. When we do decide on when we will be making our first session public, it will go on there. Go check it out, guys. We would love to see you coming and watching this, and given the cast who are working so hard on getting their characters in line and the ideas they want, it'd be really cool to see a good number of people coming and showing some excitement about it. So
Excited
yeah.
about that. Yeah, and we'll be sure to put some calendar events in the think tank and make sure that that's up there as well. And then also we will share as much information as we can possibly share right here on ThursdAGE. Yeah, so do you mind sticking around for just a bit while we're going to talk a little bit about some dates that are coming up?
Of course.
Excellent. Let me share this real quick. This is our events coming. This is for actually starting today, as you can see there on the 24th. Jay Gray is going to stream tonight on Twitch, and he's going to have a very special guest, and that special guest is me. I'll be on there with Devious Hearts is going to be a part of that as well. You can find Gray Matter GM. See that QR code there on the far right? Give that a scan, and it'll take you right to his channel. You can follow him. I know it's going to be a phenomenal stream. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm a big fan of Jay Gray. Have been for some time, and really looking forward to playing in a game that he's GMing. So it's my pleasure to kind of support that. And so you can tune in tonight, 5 p.m. Pacific. Is it Pacific Daylight still, or is it? Yeah, I think it is. I don't think. Anyway, you know what I mean. 5 p.m. tonight on the West Coast. Let's see. Yeah, Jay's in chat right now. And it also would be nice too. These folks put some work into their craft, into telling these great stories. You follow and make sure that they know that you're there, and that's just such a boost to the energy levels. They'll just get that sort of feeling that they've got the community behind them, and that's the stuff we love. Now on Saturday, we've got the Rando stream, another group of people I just really adore, and I'm going to be on that stream. It's going to be Cthulhu Awakens, the Halloween spelled wrong special. Looking forward to that. Check out the QR for that, and in addition, you'll find all these events are listed at a link I'm going to share. I know, and we've got so much good spooky stuff happening. And I know I said that I would be. I said if anyone's doing a spooky stream, would you invite me? And boy, they did. I'm really, really excited about that. So then Untold Stories Project, Echoes at the Threshold, Cthulhu Awakens actual play. That's on the 29th, and that'll be at 4 p.m. Pacific. And that is run by our very own Jonesy. So Jonesy will be GMing, and it's an actual play in progress. So join, say hey, make sure you follow, make sure you like. Untold Stories Project is one of Alex Thomas's projects, and so make sure that you show some love. Then, of course, Abraxas Precipice on their regular Wednesday. That's the 30th, 6 p.m. Pacific, and then also 4 p.m. Pacific is Get Tanked with Troy. I have office hours in the think tank, and basically what you can do is, I know, right? Duke says, and Troy, you promiscuous mistress. Yeah, that's me. Let's see. Oh, yeah. As far as office hours, it starts out with a Zoom call where you can just join and we can talk. It's like you're coming into my office. We end up having such awesome conversation. I wish I could say I was getting work done. But then also it is kind of my job to hang out and make friends. And so do feel free to drop in. You will see that event in the think tank events, and I'll show that here in just a moment. And then the 31st is a Thursday, and we're gonna have a spooky ThursdAGE and maybe some special guests. Maybe a lot of special guests. Oh, you turd. Stop. Nate, you are a good guy, but you're also a bad person.
What a lad. What a lad.
Jeez. Nate, I'm going to send you a check for $7. Hey, there is so much good stuff coming in the month of November. We're making holiday plans like you couldn't imagine. The other thing I forgot to mention is that on the 28th, it's not an age joint, but it's a Mutants and Masterminds Monday. And I didn't put it in here because, we're talking about age things, and there's just not enough room in the calendar. We are almost an event a day. Do me a favor, friends. Do you know someone who's streaming an age game that we haven't met yet? Do you know someone who's thinking about it? Make sure that they connect with us. They can reach out to me directly, or you can point me in their direction, and I'll get them myself. But whenever you run across somebody who is they're just talking about it or they're curious, I'd love to meet them just to kind of see if there's any way that we can support them. For instance, Brand, one of the things I didn't mention is that I am going to I'll offer some prizes and things for you to give out to your stream or to people who are watching the stream. So bundles of Dragon Age stuff, and we'll sort of sort it out so that you can give it out at a cadence, whether it's sort of a random draw on Twitch or what have you. But that's the kind of stuff that we like to do, and it is we can talk about that too. We can also, it doesn't have to be just Dragon Age stuff. We can kind of move into the other giving away other things as well. But and then at any point in time, my friend, if you wanted to do a special, we could have Chris Pramus, who is the de facto line lead for this, and he's also the guy that he's our president as well, the president and CEO of Green Ronin. We could have you stream as a special sort of discussion and a breakdown of, he can give some background on how Dragon Age came to be, maybe even hint at what's to come and all that good stuff. So
that would be honestly, that would be a dream come true, man. That would be amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's a wonderful guy. You'll dig him quite a bit, but that's very, very easy for us to do. And so we'll just have to talk about how that would work out. And then what am I missing here? Oh yeah, I was just gonna at least show you friends who are watching. 1 second. Let me do this one. And there we go. Okay, so it's a little smaller than I care for. I'm going to make this. There we go. Okay, so in the think tank, when you go to atomicthinktank.com, and if you're not already a member, all the stuff that I'm showing you, that's free. It's free stuff. It's the calendars for streamers. It's all kinds of good stuff. But up at the very top here, you'll see events on the left menu, and when you click on it, it shows you all the streaming events that are happening across the entire think tank. And so of course you got ThursdAGE, you've got the rando stream, you've got Moomamo, 2 postings here. You've also got things like updates. For instance, we have a Moomamo calendar. We're also going to be building an age calendar, so people who are streaming as well as ThursdAGE stuff. Let's see, there's Jonesy's actual play we talked about. And here's Mutants and Masterminds 3 Heroes Unite, which is coordinated by our very own Devious, and Get Tanked with Troy at Brackus Precipice, and on it goes. Of course, we've also got Dice Drop. There are our good pals that have blended Dragon Age and Fantasy Age, which is very, very interesting. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds really cool, actually.
Yeah, super, super fun. And of course, we've got more space. The more, if you've got an event that you're planning, if you've got a stream that you run on the regular, come here and add it. The community is growing. It is fun. It's safe. We are a drama-free space. It has been an absolute joy for us to put that together. But we're also putting some stuff In the let's see. Oh yeah, Shadowcat. I'm going to bring that up.
If you ever have one of those days on Discord where it's just drama in every server,
Yes.
jump into the think tank, man, because it chills it right out. No drama. Everybody's so nice and
Yeah.
welcoming, and you ask any question, and if people are just like, "Oh, I have the answer. Let me help you," and
Yeah.
there's none of the sarcasm. It's just a great community to be in
Yeah.
if you're a fan of Age products. It's so
And I
good.
find too that folks that are offering advice it's pure enthusiasm. It's not the kind of advice where they're kind of peeing on the four corners of your ideas.
Yeah,
Like it's not like that at all. It's such
the
a
the
wonderful group.
the amount of times I've asked questions in there, and there was a point where I was looking for overlays for the stream,
Yes.
and somebody was like, "Hey, I didn't find any Dragon Age specific, but here's 7 websites with free overlays. Maybe you'll
Yeah,
find something there." And I'm like, "Wow, okay, thank you so much." And
that was
everybody just goes,
devious.
they really go out of their way to help you. They really
Yeah,
do.
absolutely. And
Really
that's
cool.
just the whole vibe of the space. In addition, we are working on something called the Skunk Works. And I love this. Reigns says, I've got that zine ready to receive submissions for Dragon Age TTRPG fans. This is a community-based zine of it's sort of inspired by some of the stuff that's going on. Like for instance, I forgot to mention this today. We released Dread Crawls. It's Dread Crawls 1. It is the next sort of zine style entry in Cthulhu Awakens content. And I'm going to drop the link for you. Of course, I've got too many tabs open. So, but it is, Malcolm Shepard, who is a line lead, is he's just brilliant. And his introduction of the zines and this sort of a different fun format really makes a diff. It's just such a fresh, fun take. Let me share that tab. And here's the Cthulhu Awakens. I also want to do a shout out. I don't know if folks have noticed. You might want to take a spin and check out that link that I'm dropping. Our website, our store, has been redesigned to be easier to use, easier to find stuff. So one of the challenges with Green Ronin is that we started before the internet. And so it's a long time ago. And taking on all of the latest technologies like PDFs, lots have changed, and the update to the store is just fantastic. We've also got Brinkmanship that's brand new as well. And then the Cthulhu Awakens RPG Quick Start, not Quick Start, rather, it's the core rulebook and in both print or in PDF are on sale, 20% off. So you can pick that up. Let's see what else do we got here. Here's Dread Crawls. The Dread Crawls 0 is here. You see this beautiful artwork on the cover here.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
really
beautiful.
great. And then of course we've got some Cthulhu Awakens garb, some tentacles in your mug. Engine, of course, is fantastic. I don't know if folks have, many people who came to our launch party for Engine received this for free, but it's discounted to $5.99 in the store. So you can pick that up if you didn't get a chance. Of course, Miskatonic University, that came from Jonesy. And then here's the book. This is brand new. Dread Crawls, issue 1, Threatening Scenarios, $7.99, and you can pick it up in the store and have some fun, add some spooky stuff to your play. Shadowcat says, when will Soul System hit the UK? Shadowcat, I've got some really good news for you that I can't share quite yet because I don't have the details, but it sounds a little something like we've been working real closely with some folks that we have a nice distribution that is based in your space, in your area. So look forward to that. It'll be right now, just, shipping is so out of hand. You go to ship yourself a book and you've got to pay 3 times the amount in shipping. It's ludicrous.
It's ridiculous in some places, especially since Brexit and such. Because
Oh,
for
yeah.
the UK, especially,
Everybody.
I ordered a book that came from Australia, and the postage was more than the book.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. It's just ludicrous. Hey, where are you at on the globe now? Are you in Scotland? Or are you?
I'm in bonny, rainy Scotland.
I love that. That's fantastic. Yeah, boy, our friends in Australia are they just get Australia and the Kiwis as well. Both of those folks, those communities just get the short end of the stick, and it's so we're looking forward to this shift.
And it's like, as all my fellow nerds in the chat will be able to attest, we love our book, our TTRPGs and our hobby books and such, but some of them can be quite pricey. And
Because
for me to be saying they're definitely not. And this was like a full on, Game Master's Guide, Monster Manual, plus the campaign guidebook for this particular third party. Yeah. And I ordered all of that, and the postage was still more than all three of those books together. And oh god, it was
a lot.
It was a lot.
Yeah, we were shipping some books to some friends of ours, getting ready for an actual play. It's actually an age actual play. I need to make sure I share the news about that. I'll go back and check. But Merrick's launching our buddy Merrick was doing for the longest time. He's with Skyhammer Press. He was doing an Expanse. Now he's switching new, and I can't wait to talk more about that. But he's in Canada. We shipped him a bunch of books, and it was unbelievable. Like just the box of books and how long there's just it's untenable. But even folks like Duke who are in Germany will benefit from this location. So don't make too many sad German noises. I know that Germans like to make a lot of just sort of weird, sad noises. That's okay. You can do that. But leave some space for some happy noises as well. So listen, my friend, we have covered so much ground. We've talked a lot about what you're cooking, and I am so excited to watch, and then also just to support and help, and to see how our community can make sure that you're getting the boost you need for all your good hard work.
The community has been so helpful, so welcoming, and so wonderful since I've joined into it. I'm very glad that I took that step and reached out with an email, expecting just to get some font back, and instead I got a whole community. Like, right. people in the chat. I'm going to waffle a bit here about Troy because this man is more helpful than he's going to put himself up for. I asked this man for font, that was it, and this man was like, hey, yeah, cool, so here's this font, and then here's two more, and by the way, do you need books, do you need PDFs, do your players have PDFs? Also, we can give you stuff to like give away on streams. Also, like, I mean, hey, we'll just like, we'll write stuff, like, tell us what you need. And I was like, I wanted letters, man. Like, and now I've got this amazing community to be a part of. Honestly, guys, Troy doesn't give himself enough credit, man. This man has been so helpful.
I'm telling you, introducing me to the enthusiasm. Thank you for the kind words. Truly appreciate it. But the enthusiasm comes from just working with such a really phenomenal group of folks. Because I will tell you, there are many times where I'm just like, well, that didn't quite go as planned. And everybody is just so gracious. And it's a lovely community. And so glad to have you a part of it. You and your crew of folks. Very, very much looking forward to seeing it. And we could always use another Dragon Age stream.
Hell yes.
Fantastic. Odd and be quiet. I mean, Odin. He's a troublemaker who is over on the Expanse side of things, over in the Expanse community. Another wonderful group of people who is just part of the greater sort of age adventure game engine folks, and he's giving me the business. Hey, listen, I'm going to I think this is a good enough spot. We could talk for another hour, I guarantee you, but we'll have you back. We'll be paying attention, and if something snags in my brain, I'm going to bug you and have you come on, and you might have multiple opportunities to kind of tell us what's going on. But I do appreciate your energy and your enthusiasm. And Troy is so busy to answer emails. That is very, very true. If you want to get a hold of me, you got to do it live. I only have about 20,000 unread emails, so I'm sure those are all. All right, friends. Well, thank you all in chat for, when we have a guest, it's always nice to have, kindness and warmth and all that good stuff. Truly, truly appreciated. Nate, you don't you dare. I swear to God. Thank you, friends. Listen, we'll be back. You'll see me later this evening over on Jay Gray's stream. You'll see me on Saturday. You're going to get sick of me. You're going to be so sick of me. But in the meantime, have so much fun. Have a great rest of your week. And, tell me what your Halloween costume is. I want to see that. All right. Ciao, everyone. Bye-bye.